Hello folks. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a demo of Tanzu Community Edition. So Tanzu Community Edition is an open source edition of Tanzu Kubernetes Grid. So let's start off by seeing how you can use Tanzu Community Edition in your local to run a local cluster. So here I have Tanzu installed. So you can actually see that I have all these commands, and this is the version of Tanzu I'm running, Tanzu CLI. And so I'm going to be using this plugin called standalone cluster to run a standalone cluster in my local. Okay. So the version of this is 0.9.1. So that's the latest as of now. So with that, let's actually create a cluster, local cluster. So this local cluster will run on top of Docker. So so the command to run it is Tanzu standalone cluster create, and then you can type your cluster name. And -i is to mention the infrastructure, which is Docker in this case. And I'm also timing this. It will take a few moments to actually create it, and we'll see how much time it takes. So let's go. And you can also use verbose to actually see a lot of logs. So I'm just not going to use verbose. So this is going to take a few moments. So I'm going to pause the video and unpause when it's done. And we can see the time it takes and how the cluster looks like. Hey, I'm back. So it took around like 4 minutes to actually create the local Kubernetes cluster. So you can see that it says the standalone cluster is created, and you can use these kubectl commands to actually access your cluster. So now if I actually try to do this, just a minute. Okay, so I had to switch to this cluster. So now if I do this, yeah. So if I use kubectl and I now switch to this context of this local cluster, which is what I created, I am able to access my standalone cluster. So now you can do things like so you see there are a lot of pods here. So there is the control plane components of the Kubernetes cluster, and also the worker node components like the kube proxy worker node component, and then like control plane components like API server, etc. and all that, and then also container networking related pods and all. And you can also see that the nodes are also here. You can see the control plane nodes and the worker nodes, which is called machine deployment, short for MD over here. So that's how you create a local Kubernetes cluster on top of Docker using Tanzu Community Edition.